Hello there. Hello there. Hey, how's it going? How are you feeling? Feeling good? Nice. Nice. All right. So today, I actually wanted to talk to you about a little something that has been asked me, well, to me. People have asked me about this for quite a few months, just a few months now. Uh, they have asked me about this instrument that I go around and I take with me from place to place. Now, this instrument is this one, and it is called a shakuhachi. A shakuhachi. Now, the shakuhachi, just a brief explanation of what I know about the instrument. It is a bamboo flute. They often take, 1 to 3 years to make one of these things. It's a process. Bamboo itself grows so long, it takes so long to grow. But, you got to cultivate the bamboo. You got to, take the bamboo, dry it out, drill holes into it, and all sorts of stuff. So it's a process. I don't know exactly how many years it took to make this one, but just one of these instruments takes quite a while to make. So they're very unique, and this one has, just means a lot to me. I've been taking it on all my hiking and different places. So there's 4 holes in the front, 1 hole in the back, and this instrument, it originated in China. So it started in China, but it was popularized by Japanese. So it was popularized in Japan, and it represents their reverence for nature. It's a meditative instrument, and it really utilizes the breath. So, the breath itself, the breath is life. We can't live without the breath, right? So, we breathe so shallow. We don't realize how shallow we breathe day by day. And so if the breath is life, when we play instruments like this, when I'm playing this, what you're really listening to is my life. And I feel like that's what connects a lot of people with this. When they hear it, they're like, oh my gosh, what a beautiful sound. And even one of my family members told me that it reminded him of his father. He said he felt like he was, and I've never heard anyone tell me this, he felt like he was crying through the instrument. He felt like he was crying through the shakuhachi, that's what it was doing for him. So I just was like, wow, you know what, I was drawn to this for a reason. And I actually wanted to spill the beans on how I stumbled upon this. I was in a Goodwill. I go through a shopping. I get my clothes. It's no secret. I get a lot of the clothes that I wear from thrift shops. And I was in a Goodwill, and I looked, and I was actually just there for a piggy bank. I actually just wanted someplace to put my change, and I was looking for a piggy bank, and I found one. But then right before I left the aisle, I found something else. I seen this little small, it wasn't this one, but it was this small little skinny toy flute looking item. And I said, what? And I just looked at it. And I think I looked at it for about 2 minutes straight. Like, I honestly think I looked at this instrument for like 2 minutes. And it was like when people say they go to a crystal shop, right? Like one of those metaphysical shops with crystals and different items and garments and different things that you wear. And they say that they feel like they were just drawn to this one. They were just drawn to it. For some reason, it called out to them. Right, some sort of artifact on the shelf, or some crystal, some fuchsite, or just different crystal on the shelf called out to them, and they felt like, this is the one I want. They moved their hand over it and they said, this one wants me, or I want this one, and they picked it up and they bought it. It was like that. And this flute was literally for like $2.99. It's like $2, and it was made in China. And it even had a little inscription note on there with notes and stuff, but they were all in the other language. And so I couldn't interpret any of this. Now, the thing that got me going on this flute when I bought it for $2.99 at a Goodwill was when I took it to my car and I expected to play a note. I expected that sound was going to come out of this thing, right? And it was just a little toy flute, like a little toy. And so I took it, I positioned it, and I tried to play it, nothing. Nothing. When I tell you nothing, like just my air, just breath came out this instrument. Nothing came out. And it was like this for like the whole day. The whole day. It got to the point where I thought the instrument was busted. I thought it was broken. I thought something was wrong with it. I said, what is wrong with this thing? I bought this thing. I mean, it was cheap anyway, so I'm not too mad. But I was like, what's wrong? Then I looked up YouTube videos and I looked up things online, because when I get interested in something, when something fascinates me, I just get into it. And I looked up these videos trying to figure out, what is wrong with this instrument? How do I play it? Then I said, is something wrong with me? Is something wrong? And so I figured out that it was my embouchure. It was the way that I was forming my mouth to cut the air. The air, in order to play the instrument, your air has to split in two. And that's how you play the instrument. Otherwise, you're just breathing into it and nothing is happening. You have to position it and position your mouth in a way so that air actually like passes through in the way that it's supposed to correctly for sound to come out. So literally nothing was happening for the first day. It took me a day to play one note, to get the posture, everything down, one note. And so that hooked me. I was hooked. It's like one of my favorite video games of all time that I wish I could play right now, but I know I can't because I have so much work to do, is Dark Souls. Dark Souls hooked me when I died. Their slogan, their tag, Dark Souls, if anybody's ever played that game, is that you died. You die and you die over and over and over again. It prides itself on being difficult, right? You see that thing, the big title on the screen, you died, you died. Every time you die, you see the title, you died, like every time. And so I was one of the people that instead of saying, you know what, this game is stupid. This is stupid. Why am I wasting my time? Why am I doing this? This is stupid. This game is broken. Who would want to play this? No. I got obsessed. I had to beat it. I had to. I made it a mission of mine to beat this video game, and I beat it, and I did it. I played through the first, the second, and the third, and it was the most elating feeling. It was the most like victory, but the victory was so sweet because of the trial, because of the tribulation, because of the difficulty. That's what made it all the more sweeter. So this instrument was the equivalent of that. When I finally learned how to play it, when I finally had a note that I played, one note, and I learned how to breathe and how to control my breath in order to play one note, oh man, it was like victory. You couldn't tell me anything in that moment. You could not tell me anything. I was hooked. At a young age, I used to play piano. This was nothing like that. Nothing like that. This instrument, literally, it called out to me. This form of instrument, I should say, because I'm continuing to buy shakuhachis. I mean, they're easily run like $1,000 plus for one shakuhachi. This one I got a deal on out in the Japanese village in Los Angeles. I got a deal, right? For $100. That was a deal for this. So yeah, that was a steal, really. So they're easily $1,000. They're a form of, reverence for nature, and they cultivate your spirit. It's a meditative instrument that I use for meditation. So as I'm breathing, you have to breathe in a form of way to really play this instrument. And if you're not used to deep breathing, you can go away from this instrument feeling super lightheaded, like you're just in another world for a few seconds. I've used this for so many different things, but what I'm using it for now is to cultivate my spirit. And the more I master this, the more I master myself. And I'll leave you with a quote that I heard from Stevie Wonder. I remember I watched Stevie Wonder in concert, and he said that it doesn't matter what instrument it is, but if you can learn a musical instrument, there's an abundance of them, but if you can learn one musical instrument, it's one of the best things that you can do for your soul. For your soul is to learn a musical instrument. Doesn't matter what it is, just learn one. Find something that connects to you. Just learn it, a little bit at a time. You don't have to be a professional. Just learn how to play it. And it's one of the best things you can do for your soul. I pray that you enjoyed this message, that you enjoyed this episode on my channel here. And please feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this. And pass this message along. Share it out with someone who would like to, or you feel like this deserves to share, to hear it. Drop a like or a heart to give it a good rating on whatever platform that you are choosing to listen to it. And if you would like more inspirational messages like this, that get you to think a little bit differently about the ways in which we interact with the world, please feel free to visit The Open Palm. That is The Open Palm. You can find that on multiple platforms, that podcast on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcast. And have a blessed and wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Take care, my friends.